Hello everyone and welcome to Malt and Meeples. Got a last second stream I put together here. My intention had been to stream this Monday, but I wasn't sure what time I was going to start it, so 8:30 it is. Just got a normal old fashioned here. Good drink for today. But as you can tell from the title, we're not just going to be talking about, and playing Village Green, but instead we're going to be chatting a little bit about GenCon as well here, because, the event schedule just went live, so you can look at it, and then actually, I believe it's the 15th, so basically 2 weeks from this past Sunday is going to be when you can register for events. And you want to be checking it out early if you are shooting to register for an event. Let's talk a little bit about kind of what I look for, or what I've looked for in an event here. Then I'll take us down to the table in a second. But for me, when I look for an event at this point in time, and it was a little bit different the first time I went. The first time I went, I definitely looked to just kind of try a little bit of everything. And this time, I'm being a little bit more specific about it. Some of that is with the additional content creation that I do, the extra stuff that I'm doing here over on Malts and Meeples, the stuff that I'm doing over on nerdologist.com, and welcome Fatal Paper Cut. Yeah, get your coffee. Mine's not coffee that I'm drinking here, but I'll need some more in the morning. But the first time I was there, it was, okay, let's try a little bit of everything. Let's find an RPG to do. Let's do the Ice School North American Championships. Let's do a playtest for Role Player Adventures. And I know there's more, too. I don't even remember what it all was. There was a legendary play, and you could win a box event. But the longer we were there, the more we realized we just kind of liked wandering around the main floor and trying out demos there. That was a better way than signing up for something specific. Because I guess we signed up for like Village Attacks, their big playthrough, and we won't go into it now. I might do a video in the future kind of talking about Kickstarter, and as a Kickstarter creator, maybe some things that are good to consider, which may have something to do with Village Attacks. But it was fun doing those events. We actually ditched out on one on the last day so that we could play a demo at one of the booths like right away in the morning. And it was more fun to play that demo. It was more fun to walk around and get in on demos and try things, even though some of them were not great experiences, than it was to schedule a whole lot of the events. A lot of the events, like the, I forget which system it was, but it was somebody used a system that's not like the Fate Dresden Files system or the general Dresden Files RPG system to run a Dresden Files game. It was fun, but 3 hours of an RPG doesn't feel like the best use of your time at GenCon. When you get there and you see all the booths and everything there, you feel like, no, I should go around, I should play test, I should demo stuff that's going to be there. And like, we saw Isle of Cats before it was on Kickstarter there. We saw Well, the one thing I'm really glad we did and signed up for was that role player adventure playthrough. So when I'm looking at it this time, I'm trying not to do too many events, and I'm trying not to do too many like really long events. No like 3 hour events like the RPG thing was, just because it eats up a chunk of time. So, I mean, I'm looking at what I put down, and couple things. One thing on Thursday, one thing on Friday, couple on Saturday, couple on Sunday, or maybe three on Saturday, I guess. But then, yeah, one on Sunday. And the sort of things that I'm looking for, and there's one that I really want to get into, which is going to be the Sagrada Legacy launch party. Because if you get into that, they are going to have copies of the game there. Not necessarily at the launch party. I think you're going to get to kind of play a scenario sort of thing. But it sounds like there are going to be copies at GenCon for sale. But if you get into the launch party, then you get a copy set aside for you. So you're for sure going to be able to pick one up if you want to. And I mean, it's Sagrada, a game that I love. Legacy, a type of game that I love. And this is actually going to be a roll and write kind of version of Sagrada. So I don't know how that's going to work. Or you're coloring in stuff. Very curious to see about that one. And I mean, I know I want to get that game when it comes out. So I really want to get into that one. And then there's also a Batman Everybody Lies launch party as well that Portal Games is putting on. That's another one I want to check out. But besides that, and besides there is one Legendary Marvel win-a-box kind of games that you can do. And we did this last time, or my friend and I did it last time at GenCon in 2019, where we were there last day, kind of later in the day, chance to win a box. The other people who were signed up for it didn't show up. So we were like, okay, well, it's two of us. One of us is going to win it. I don't actually own any Marvel Legendary stuff, but I figure I might sign up for it again this year, and if I win the box, then I can give it to my buddy. But the other ones are going to be Cat Detective, Star Driven, and Into the Stars. And all of those are going to be play tests of things that are going to be coming. And to me, that's more interesting to play than an established game that I know already. Now, learning something like Nemesis could be cool, but I was looking even at dice throwing events, and at that point in time, I should have my Marvel dice throwing, so I don't need to go see it there. I already own it because I got it off the Kickstarter. And I want to be intentional about leaving a lot of time to playtest things, more so than to try out games that are already out there, because I can probably do that at the company's booth. Maybe not, but possibly. So let's head down to the table here. And we're going to be playing, or I'm going to be playing here, Village Green. I'm wondering about swapping the setup here, actually flipping it. So 1 second with that. Village Green. These don't matter. The order is going to be a game where you're trying to get, your best Village Green. And you're creating a, 4x4 grid. But your green space is going to be 3x3 over here. Let me move myself across the screen like magic. And I have a hand of cards here that are going to be ones that I can put into my green. So each one of these things on the outer edge, there'll be 3 this way, which you start with, and then 3 across the top are going to be scoring objectives. So here, if I have 3 colors of flowers, I get 6 points. Here, if I have a gazebo and 2 trees, I get 4. 2 gazebos and 2 trees, I get 6. 1 gazebo and no trees, I get -2. And over here, it's just if I have the yellow flower within the triangle that gets me points. And I'm going to be adding things up here. But there's various rules as to how you can place your flowers. And so I'm going to get started and kind of show you how this works as we go. I'll leave my hand face up down here because there's no reason to hide it. So for example, I can start by placing this one here, and then I take, well, technically I take and then I place. So now I have a pond here that's going to be worth 2. I can decide what I want to do next, which I think is going to be take this empty green and put this one here. Now there are placement rules in that I either have to match the flower type or the color to place adjacent to something else. So all good here. Put that one out. Ooh, I would love to be able to get that one in the bottom row somehow, which I have a way right now to kind of do that. So then I'm actually going to place this one down here, take that card, flip a new one out. Why I say, I alluded to this at the beginning, Village Green is only an okay solo game because nothing ever changes in these cards that are out. So, for example, I'm going to take this one, place it here because it will give me 2 points, 1 for each tree, plus 3. Down there, 5 points is not great, but solid enough. And I'm going to stick this one over here because it matches the type of flower and it gives me 2 different colors of the flowers. So I just need to get a yellow one at the end now. Yeah, probably should take another one. It's not bad. So I'm going to flip another one out here. Put that one there. And take this one. And now, I'm looking for different ways to score here. It's not super well set up for me, but I'm going to put this yellow circle down here at the bottom. Doesn't help me this way. Don't have any scoring yet this way. I will in a second there. Take that. And normally you could layer over cards, but you can't in the solo version of the game. So normally you could layer over these different scoring cards on the side, but that is limited for you in the solo version of the game, which is something that I don't love. I think it makes, well, the game goes real fast, so that's not a bad thing, but also the game goes really fast. Now, normally you can't ever layer over these green locations, but in this case I can because it's just an empty spot. I'm not going to quite yet. Because, well, I want to get my 3 points this way. That gives me 3 points that way. And let's see, what do I want to have come up this way? Ooh, so I'm going to take this one. Like I said, you take them first. So I can play that one down there. And now I need to get a yellow up in here to complete this one. Plus I want to find something that's going to give me some points here. Putting that yellow there, none of these are advantageous for that. So I can flip this. It costs me a victory point to do that, to wipe out a row. Downside is I just wiped out a row with no guarantee that I'm going to get something that I really want, which I really didn't. Like, I'd love to take this one and this to place them. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put my green there. Hopes of getting, well, I have another gazebo, but not of the color that I want. I'm going to sacrifice points here to take that one, flip, and again, not of the color I want. I can no longer actually score for that one. So, better to place that one there. You flip, it doesn't really matter at this point. Oh, I would technically I had to have placed that one there, cover this. So I actually messed that up. These two would not be in play. Messed it up because once this is full, that's the end of the game. So I missed completely on scoring over here. And we can start scoring from the bottom. So starting with this one, I score 3 points for one of them. Here, 2 and 2. So that's additional 6 for 9. Don't score anything for that one. Plus 5, 14. Plus 3, 17. And then 2 more for each pond location, 21. 21 is not a great score. Some of the reason why I wanted to play this one on stream is to mess around with it a little bit and see if there's maybe a way that I can make it better. And I will say, for group play, it's a whole lot better. It's a whole lot more fun when you play as a group, because both of the green cards and those scoring cards, they change. Even if you couldn't swap or layer your scoring cards, it's still more fun because there's more variability. You see more. Obviously, this is a fairly thick stack of cards. I only ever see, when we play, 12, 15 of them, which isn't that many. Draw my hand of 3, lay out 3 here. Let's get these shuffled up. So I'd be curious, just going back to GenCon talk, to know what people think, or if you've been to GenCon, what you've done before. Is it something where you like to have more events or not? Just be curious about that. Ooh, that's a good start. Because I could definitely see it being a lot of fun to do a whole bunch of events, have more specific things that you do, maybe take a day of, okay, I'm going to wander the hall this day, but otherwise I'm going to be going and doing specific events. But wandering the hall is almost like doing events anyways. You just might have to wait for a little bit. So like we waited probably 20 minutes in line to do a demo of the God of War game. And in some ways I'm glad that we got to do that, because I know that I don't want to buy the God of War game after doing that demo. Start playing. And that was basically like doing an event. It was a set period of time that we were going to be playing something. We just didn't know what at that point in time. Let's see, let's take that one, put that up there. Different tree types. So let's see, I wanted to do, let's grab this one. Lose a little bit of scoring this way. Oh, lose more than a little bit of scoring that way. So no. Let's do types of trees. We'll do that one there. And then come down here, because any purple flower is worth a decent chunk of points there. Let's grab, looking for tree types that I don't have. So that one, oh, that will fit in nicely. Put that one there. So I'm scoring full points on that one, no matter what. But it feels odd to be like, oh yeah, I don't want to actually schedule any more events, because the events are a fair amount of fun. I wonder if I could set that up. Yeah, I can. So we're going to put that one there. Don't have to put them in order. It's nice. Yeah, I would have taken that one. Now, look to do that one there. Looking for specific tree types here that I'm not seeing. I'll take that one. I'll place this one here. Pretty solid on the tree front, that direction. Plus, there's just so much to see. Like, even if you're not looking only at the board games. So I'm trying to figure out, none of these are worth me using, so trash that. There's going to be plenty of different, what? 3 types of flowers and 3 flowers in different colors. Yay. Man, I do not have anything that's going to score for that. But yeah, there's just a lot of different games out there that's... It's a lot of fun to be playing them then. And it's a lot of fun to play the different demos of stuff versus... Let's see, is there any way to score at all. There is not. So I'm just going to take that one, finish it off, call it good. Because I'm trying to think, like, all the different things that we demoed. Well, there, I did. Not counting the events. So, Stuff of Legends, I believe it was. Zona, Secret of Chernobyl. Let's see. Then Deranged. And... oh, what is the name of that game? Oh... something about dreams. It was not that great. There was not a great wrestling game that we did. We played so many different things that was really the event for us, was going and demoing stuff. So Homebrewers, I guess, was another one. Just One, which we had played Just One, but it was fun to go and play that in a convention setting with some random people at the booth. The God of War game talked about, I think we got like some weird little figures for some stuff. Apocrypha, Too Many Bones, Letter Jam. I'm trying to think. I know there were more. But the weird thing, too, though, is that sometimes the experience of the demo was not that good. Now, there was, might have been Dreams of Tomorrow is what it's called. That one was not that fun to play. We kind of got roped into doing it. We didn't necessarily want to. They were just very persuasive. And then the person who was demoing it did not want to be demoing it. So it was just a pretty boring experience. And the game might have been fine. It was very abstract, rondel sort of thing. Wasn't one that I ever would have sat down and played just for the fun of it. But also, we played Deranged, Zona, The Secrets of Chernobyl, and a whole bunch that were a ton of fun. And the weirdest experience I think we had with that was that with Letter Jam. Letter Jam, the first day, kind of after the main hall closed down, but Letter Jam is by... is Letter Jam by AEG? No, Czech Games Edition. So CGE. They taught the game. I was really excited to play it because I had watched Man vs. Meeple play through it on their pre-GenCon coverage. But that's a cooperative word game. And my buddy who was there, who hadn't seen that coverage, didn't know it was cooperative until most of the way through the game, because the person who was teaching the game was already checked out and did not want to be demoing stuff anymore. And that was in the evening of the first day of GenCon. I'm assuming that they got some discount on their badge or something like that for the whole event of GenCon, and that was part of the trade-off was, okay, you have to do these demos. And maybe they were even excited about the game, but they had just done it enough times. And so it was a pretty bad experience. And then we went back again, and I think I grabbed it I think I grabbed it after the fact. But that second time we played was so much better. Let's do our scoring here. This one, I have 3 of those 3-point trees, -1. So 9, nothing. Well, I didn't mess that up. I needed to swap it. So we're at 8 plus 8, 16. 3 types of trees, 21. Plus 4, 5 more for 26. Alright, let's shuffle up and play one more time here. But I'd be curious to know what other people's experiences are with Gen Con, or conventions in general. Because Gen Con was my first very big convention. With Gen Con, it was much larger than any of the local ones that I've been to here in Minnesota. There's Convergence here, which was a decent experience the times that I've been there. I'm done with Convergence at this point. It's just a small enough con where, and it's not that small. I think it's like 6,000 people, or was. And it was just run oddly. The people running the con didn't work well with the hotel that it was being done at. And the hotel that it originally was done at didn't necessarily want them there because there was just a lot of costs for them. The amount of people who were like staying at the hotel and then taking off bright green, bright blue, whatever cosplay makeup with the nice white towels, it just made a lot of work for them. Plus then there was kind of the party rooms, which were intentionally set up part of the convention, but it meant that they had to have, I think, off-duty police or volunteers who were carting people, or it was fun. The first year I was there, it was like a British invasion. So like Doctor Who and all these cool panels, stuff like that. And they do have a fair number of cool panels, but then like a few years later when I went, I think it was the first or maybe the second time I went with my wife to it, and it was like, oh, the theme this year is transportation. Nobody had any good panels that time, so it just kind of fell apart in terms of what I was trying to do. Oof. This is a lousy start. I'll start with that one. So I need to get a gazebo down there. That actually would fit really well there as well. Unfortunately, those two don't work together. Ooh, that one should be ponds. I have no ponds. I'm going to do this because it allows me to do a few funkier things. None of these, by the way, work at all for my scoring. Fatal, did you get your coffee? Man, no pawns. Like, that is dead weight for scoring for me. I have nothing for this one. Each tree, same tree type thing as last time. I mean, I'm going to wipe this again, see what happens. I could also be wiping these, but I need something. Tree types. Okay, that's doable at least. Build up from there. Yeah, flip that one out. Yeah, you'll take one of these. I've seen 0 pawns. It's great for the scoring there. Nothing for scoring there, but I can drop that one in. At least score double. That way, okay. That goes there. We have our max points there. No points there, no points there. Come on, give me a pond. Nope. types of trees. We have our 3, so max points there. We have no red roses. We have none of that. I mean, that's a -2 that I'd have to overcome with nothing at this point in time. Might be the best one to put in for scoring. But yeah, it's interesting. It's interesting to think about cons that are coming up. It'll be interesting to see how GenCon is this year. Just because, I mean, I expect that it will be a little bit, or be quite different from what I saw previously. Man, I scored no points that way. At least I got that. But I hope that it will be more back to normal. I didn't go last year. I was just like, okay, it's going to be too odd. Don't necessarily want to risk it going last year. But this year seems more reasonable to go. So let's start here. No points. 3, 9, 15, 23. 23. Not bad. So kind of always been in the same range. I think it was 21, 23, 24. But I guess I didn't experiment around with what I was thinking of for a solo play. I was thinking maybe at the end of each turn, assuming you didn't take from that row, kick out the one flip. So we'd cycle through more of the awards cards. So actually, let's try that. Let's try that one last game here. Get my 4 in for today. It's not even 4. I've played 3 games of matcha at work, which we got a little bit wrong, but played it basically right and got to see the theory of the game. It's a good little 2-player game. I do not like it as much as Hanamakoji, which is my go-to 2-player game. But it's going to stick in the collection because it works well. That dice throwing, which I actually like at 3 or 4 as well. But those are going to kind of be my going to be my 2-player games. I found that I had too many and I don't play nearly enough of them. Well, we're going to start down here. Like I said, we're going to do this trashing thing. Sliding down one at a time. See what happens with this. So now, like, I can't move immediately up to here. I'd have to do something down here. And now I have to pay a whole lot more attention to what's coming up there because I'd love to get this one in this row. Ooh, I can actually do that because adjacency. We'll take one of the blank ones here. Go this one. Okay, I have a turn or so. I'm liking this better. Like already I like this as a concept better. Because now, for example, I can take this one, put it there. And you get some double trees in here. But if I take, so this is fun because now I have the choice. I could take this, put it here. That's going to score me a decent number. Well, that's -2. That's not a great number of points. Or I could like toss in that blank one to give me the more flexibility. Yeah, don't buy a resin printer this week. You have a ton of board games coming in, it sounds like. I'm curious. So, Fatal, have you played, and I'm not sure if it does play solo, have you played Lost Ruins of Arnak solo? Because I'm very curious. I want to get the Expedition Leaders expansion. I just don't want to do that until I've actually... You know what, we're going to flip this face down. It's automatically face down. Before I've actually played the base game. So, well, I don't care about that. I've decided. I'd love to place that there for 3. It's probably the best call. 2 types of trees, that's not worth it for that one, so yeah. It really does seem like it's a perfect expansion. It's the whole adding in basically player variability seems like a really nice thing. We'll grab that one just in case I can work it in. More variability, the better, because I mean, for me, that's replay. That's replay value right there. I could do that one down there, but that would give me -2 points. Most definitely not doing that. Place a yellow there. Or a circular one. I mean, I am at 9 points on that row. Ooh, I can take this one, drop it there. I haven't played Tapestry, and it's not high on my list. Oh boy. Of games to play. I don't know why. It doesn't feel like my normal cup of tea for a game. It seems fairly abstracted. But I always am curious about a game that just adds more stuff. Let's see, 2 types of trees. That'd be 2 points for that tree variety. I can get 1 point over there. I have 1 and 2. But no, it's not that specific. I do not have that specific integration. So let's do that one. Right, 2 types of trees. Oh, wait, no, I don't necessarily want to do that one because I can cover that. So if I cover that with this, defeats a little bit of the purpose because I need to get another one of those down there. Can't get that one in play. So yeah, we'll do that. Flip. Lose that one. Slide it down. I need to get something in that spot. But I need this one So that is just going to be a blank spot. End the game there. Okay, fair. You probably hadn't played those. I should have assumed that. So let's see difference in score. So it was like 21, 23, and 24. With my adjustment of just it sliding off the end, see if I score that much higher. It's more interesting, I will say, with my variation to the game. So 6 for that, 6 for that, so 12. You don't get any points for that ever. 2 tree types, 14, 15, 16, plus 12, 28, plus 6, 34. So definitely scored higher. At least through one time playing it this way. And I suspect that you would, because you can rotate more. But at the same time, it's just in more interesting gameplay that you could probably push the scale that tells you how well you do up higher. It's like, that was what, 36 with my rules? 36 with my rules is still only Village Green of the Year. Or if it was 38 even, still the same thing at the 35 and above, so the highest possible score. Everything else I had was an honorable mention range. One was close to being a runner-up. But, I mean, even if you bump up the points by 2, let's say. So 17, 27, 37. That's the cutoffs. So I still would have been in Village Green of the Year. Feels like it could work. It's going to have to be something I mess around with, because I do think, I mean, I do like this game. I like that it has a solo mode for the game, because I find the puzzle of the game interesting. I like the puzzle of trying to do both vertical and horizontal scoring at the same time. It's something you get in like the likes of Crisscross. Crisscross is great that way, where you have to think about the vertical and the horizontal both at the same time to see how well you can score on both directions, because that's your total score. This gives you a more complex game that basically does the same thing. For how many players? Up to 5? Maybe I'll list this out for a game night. Solo versus mode, it says on the back. It just doesn't offer quite enough as a solo game. Crisscross is a better solo game right now without any adjustments to it, because of the fact that you're always having to think about both. It's an intentionally simple game, whereas Village Green feels like it can lock you into more of just a poor solo experience. Like I said, playing multiplayer with it, you don't get that experience. You are going to be scoring points no matter what. Or things are going to be changing more so. You can layer your scoring cards. You can put things on top of each other. You only score the top one, but it offers more decision space. And the game ends, I believe, at the end of the round when one person has completed their 3x3 grid of their green. So if you layer too much, you might have really great scoring in a few spots, but if you're missing out on points in 5 other spots, then you're probably behind anyways. So that was just kind of a little bit of gameplay, a little bit of rambling. Thank you, everybody, for who has joined, who's checking this out later. If you're enjoying this content, please give this video a thumbs up and leave a comment down below. Let me know your experience for GenCon. Let me know if you're going to GenCon in 2022. And if you want to know when I go live for more of this content, generally it's 8:30 or 9 on Mondays, and then 8 o'clock on Wednesdays. subscribe and click that notification bell. But with that, tiny drop left. Bottoms up.